Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling company culture,
Oh.
that kind of invisible force that impacts everything,
hmm
from how engaged employees are to whether a top talent even wants to work there.
Yeah, if you can even get them in the door these days, right?
Right, exactly.
It's a whole.
So we're going deep into Kaya para construir una cultura empresarial sólida,
Okay.
which basically translates to a roadmap for building
Yeah.
rock-solid company culture.
It's more than just free snacks and ping pong tables, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like a good culture really impacts the bottom line.
For sure. So before we map out this whole journey,
Okay.
what are the fundamental building blocks of a strong company culture?
Well, this guide starts with the foundation.
Okay.
A company's core values, their mission and vision.
Those aren't just words on a wall, are they?
No, they're the guiding principles that shape everything a company does.
It's like the DNA of the company.
Exactly.
But, there are tons of potential values out there.
Yeah.
What makes for a strong set, especially in today's world?
The guide actually gives some good examples,
Okay.
like integrity, innovation, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
These are values that resonate in today's environment,
Yeah.
where customers and employees are looking for companies
Right.
that are ethical, forward-thinking, and welcoming to everyone.
I mean, think of companies like Patagonia,
Oh, yeah.
known for their commitment to sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
or Salesforce,
Yeah.
which champions equality in the tech industry.
These values are woven into the fabric of their brands,
Yeah.
and they attract customers and employees who align with those principles.
It's not just about stating the values.
Right.
It's about living them every day.
You got it.
So how do mission and vision statements fit into this foundation?
So the mission statement defines the company's purpose,
Okay.
its reason for being.
Why does this company exist?
Exactly. A clear mission helps employees understand their role in
Yeah.
the bigger picture.
It gives them that sense of purpose.
Yeah.
So what about the vision statement?
Okay.
Is that where things get a bit more aspirational?
The vision statement is future-focused.
Okay.
It paints a picture of where the company wants to be
Mm-hmm.
down the line, and that can be incredibly motivating for employees.
Oh, for sure.
The guide uses an example of becoming a leader in renewable energy by 2030.
Okay.
It's ambitious.
Yeah.
It sets a high bar,
Right.
which can rally people around a common goal.
It's like, come join us. We're going to change the world.
There you go.
Okay. So we've got our foundation,
Right.
values, mission, vision.
hmm
But how do you translate that from words on a page
Right.
to a living, breathing culture?
That's where leadership comes in.
Okay.
Leaders have a huge responsibility
Yeah.
to shape and maintain the culture.
Right.
They need to embody the company's values through their actions.
Walk the talk.
Walk the talk.
Exactly. But it's more than just setting a good example.
It is.
Yeah.
Leaders also need to be empathetic,
Okay.
genuinely listen to their employees' concerns,
Mhm.
and inspire their teams to work towards those shared goals we talked about.
Like Satya Nadella at Microsoft,
Yeah, great example.
who transformed the company's culture by fostering a growth mindset
Uh-huh.
and emphasizing empathy.
He actively listened to employees,
Right.
encouraged them to learn from mistakes,
Yeah.
which created a more innovative and collaborative environment.
It's about creating a culture of trust
Mm.
where people feel supported and empowered
Yeah,
to do their best work.
for sure. But even with the best leadership,
Okay.
things can fall apart if there's a lack of communication,
You hit the nail on the head.
right?
Open and transparent communication is vital for a healthy company culture.
Absolutely.
So we're not talking about just sending out a company-wide email once a month.
No.
What does real transparency look like in practice?
It's about sharing information openly,
Okay.
both good and bad.
Right.
It's about having clear communication channels,
Okay.
whether that's regular team meetings, accessible digital platforms,
Mm.
or even just an open door policy,
The cutscene.
and encouraging employees to participate in decision-making.
When people feel like they're in the loop
Yeah.
and their voices are heard,
Mm-hmm.
they're more likely to be engaged and invested in the company's success.
Absolutely. But all of this groundwork
Okay.
is really about attracting and retaining the right people.
You're absolutely right.
The guide talks about values-based hiring,
Okay.
which goes beyond just skills and experience.
So it's not enough to be qualified on paper.
Yep.
You also need to be a cultural fit.
You got it.
How do companies actually measure that during the hiring process?
Well, there are a lot of tools and techniques.
Okay.
Some companies use behavioral interview questions
Okay.
designed to assess how a candidate has demonstrated certain values in the past.
That's interesting.
Others use culture fit assessments or personality tests
wow.
to see if a candidate's values and work style align with the company's.
Okay.
Some even implement trial periods
Oh, wow.
or culture ad interviews
Interesting.
where potential colleagues can weigh in.
So it's really about finding people who not only have the skills to do the job,
Yeah,
but who also share the company's values and will thrive in that environment.
exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But onboarding is key too, right?
Absolutely.
You don't want to bring someone in and just leave them to figure things out on their own.
Definitely not. Onboarding is a critical opportunity
Okay.
to reinforce the company's culture from day one.
Right.
It's about making new hires feel welcome, introducing them to the company's values and ways of working,
Okay.
and providing them with the resources and support they need to succeed.
It's like setting the tone for their entire experience at the company.
For sure. And of course, ongoing growth opportunities
Right.
and recognition for those who demonstrate company values
Yeah.
are important for retention too.
Absolutely. Speaking of feeling valued,
Okay.
what about the actual work environment itself?
Right. We're talking more than just ergonomic chairs and fancy coffee machines.
More than just perks.
Right. This guide emphasizes the importance of creating a positive work environment
Okay.
that supports employees' well-being and engagement.
So that can include things like benefits
Yeah.
that promote physical and mental health,
Uh-huh.
flexible work policies, and a culture of recognition and appreciation.
Exactly.
It's about creating a space where people feel comfortable,
Yeah.
supported, and respected,
Mhm.
both professionally and personally.
And when employees feel good about where they work,
Yeah.
they're more likely to be productive, creative, and engaged.
It's like that saying, happy employees equal happy customers.
Exactly.
But I'm also curious about how companies can support their employees' growth within the company.
Right. Well, this guide is all about investing in employees' professional and personal development.
Because happy employees equal productive employees.
Well, there's definitely a correlation, but
Yeah.
it's more than just keeping people happy.
Okay.
It's about empowering them to learn new skills,
Right.
advance their careers, and contribute even more to the company's success.
It's like that saying, invest in your employees and they'll invest in you.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've covered the foundation, the leadership, the communication, the right people, the positive environment,
Yeah.
and now the investment in growth.
Right. What's next?
Next up is fostering teamwork and collaboration.
Okay. Collaboration is essential for any successful team,
It is.
but I think a lot of companies struggle with actually building
Yeah.
that collaborative environment.
It's tough.
What are some of the challenges?
You know, there's this fascinating research project from Google
Okay.
called Project Aristotle.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
They were trying to decode what made some teams wildly successful
Yeah.
while others fell flat.
Exactly. And one of their key findings
Okay.
was that psychological safety was crucial
Okay.
for high performance.
Psychological safety.
It's about creating an environment
Okay.
where people feel safe to share their ideas.
Take risks and even make mistakes
Right.
without fear of judgment or retribution.
Yeah, no one wants to get punished for speaking up.
This guide echoes that finding,
Okay.
emphasizing the importance of building trust and open communication
Right.
within teams.
So it's not just about putting people in a room together and hoping for the best.
No, definitely not.
There's a real art to cultivating that sense of safety
There is.
and encouraging genuine collaboration.
Absolutely. And this guide suggests several approaches,
Okay.
from structuring team building activities
Right.
that foster real connection to promoting diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
So everyone feels heard and respected.
Well, it's about creating a culture
Yeah.
where people feel safe to speak up, challenge the status quo,
Yeah,
and collaborate without fear of being shut down.
exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. But we've only just scratched the surface of this topic.
We have a lot more to unpack,
I was going to say,
including how companies can measure the impact of their culture building efforts, and some fascinating case studies
oh, I love a good case study.
that bring all of these concepts to life.
We'll dive into all of that and more in part 2 of this deep dive. Welcome back to the deep dive. In part 1, we dug into the foundations of a strong company culture.
We did.
Values, mission, vision, leadership, communication, you name it.
We covered a lot of ground.
We did. But a company culture isn't static, is it?
No, it's definitely not a one-time fix.
You can't just set it and forget it.
It's an ongoing process.
How do companies make sure their culture stays aligned with their goals and continues to evolve?
That's where measuring the impact of those culture-building efforts comes in.
Okay.
This guide suggests using a combination of tools and techniques to assess how the culture is functioning.
So it's not just about gut feeling or anecdotal evidence.
No.
What are some of the specific ways companies can actually measure the impact?
One popular approach is using employee surveys, like pulse surveys that gather quick feedback on specific aspects of the work environment.
Oh, wait.
These can provide valuable insights
Yeah.
into employee morale, engagement, and satisfaction.
And those surveys can be anonymous, right?
Yes, anonymity is key
Okay.
to getting candid responses.
So people feel more comfortable sharing honest feedback.
Exactly. Beyond surveys,
Okay.
companies can also conduct interviews or focus groups
Oh,
to gather more in-depth qualitative data.
interesting.
Exit interviews can be particularly insightful,
How so?
as departing employees may be more willing to share honest feedback about their experiences.
It's like getting a final report card from someone who's leaving the classroom.
That's a good analogy.
But data is only useful if you actually do something with it, right?
Absolutely. Analyzing the data and identifying trends is crucial.
Okay.
For example, if employee surveys consistently reveal that people feel micromanaged
Yeah.
or lack autonomy,
Right.
that's a clear signal that the company needs to adjust its leadership style or empower employees to take more ownership.
It's about turning those insights into action.
Exactly.
But let's get practical for a moment.
Okay.
I think a lot of people struggle to truly assess company culture, especially when they're job hunting.
Yeah, it's not always something that's explicitly stated in a job post.
Right, it's not like a line item on the job description.
It's like trying to solve a mystery.
Okay.
But there are definitely clues you can look for during the interview process.
Right, spill the secrets.
All right, so one of the most important things is to pay close attention to the language people use during your interactions with the company.
Okay.
Do they emphasize collaboration, innovation, or work-life balance?
Mm-hmm.
Or do their responses feel scripted and generic?
Yeah. It's like trying to read between the lines of those perfectly polished company websites.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask specific questions
Okay.
about the company culture
Right.
during your interviews.
So, like,
You can inquire about things like how they celebrate successes, how they handle disagreements, or what professional development opportunities are available.
it's about going beyond the surface level
Yes.
and really trying to understand what it's like to work there day to day.
Exactly. And remember, the interview process is a two-way street.
That's a good point.
It's an opportunity for you to assess them
Yeah.
just as much as they're assessing you.
So don't be afraid to ask those tough questions and really trust your gut feeling.
I agree with that. Speaking of real-world examples,
Yes.
this guide includes some fascinating case studies
Oh, I love a good case study.
that illustrate how these culture-building principles play out in different contexts.
We've got the tech company
Yes.
that's laser focused on innovation and the service company that prioritizes customer care and inclusivity.
Let's start with the tech company.
Okay.
What sets their culture apart?
Yeah.
And what are they doing to foster that spirit of innovation? This company embraces a culture of experimentation and continuous learning. They're not afraid to take risks and fail fast.
Yeah.
And they encourage employees to challenge the status quo
Right.
and come up with new ideas.
It sounds like they've created a space where people feel safe to think outside the box.
Exactly. And they back up those words with actions.
Okay. Also.
One of their key initiatives is organizing regular hackathons,
Oh, yeah.
where employees can come together, brainstorm creative solutions,
Okay.
and experiment with new technologies.
I've heard so much about hackathons,
Yeah.
but I've never actually participated in one.
Oh, really?
What's the atmosphere like?
It's incredibly energetic
Okay.
and collaborative.
Uh-huh.
Teams work intensely for a set period of time, fueled by caffeine.
Yeah. You gotta have that caffeine.
And the thrill of creating something new.
And the best part is that the winning ideas
Yes.
often get resources and support to
Exactly.
be developed further.
Exactly. So it's not just about having fun and letting off steam.
Right.
It's about driving real innovation within the company.
It's like they've built innovation into their DNA.
I like that.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the service company.
All right.
Their focus is on customer care and inclusion,
Yeah.
which are increasingly important values in today's world.
Yeah, they are.
How do they foster that kind of culture?
Well, they have a really strong emphasis on training and development,
Okay.
especially when it comes to soft skills
Mm.
like communication, problem solving, and empathy.
Those skills are essential for anyone who interacts with customers.
Absolutely. And they go above and beyond to make sure their employees feel valued
Okay.
and appreciated.
Mm.
They have a monthly recognition program
Oh, nice.
where they acknowledge and reward employees who go above and beyond
Yeah.
for their customers or demonstrate exceptional teamwork and collaboration.
So it's not just about lip service.
Right.
It's about actively reinforcing those values through their actions.
You got it. And it's paying off.
In what way?
They've seen significant improvements in customer satisfaction
Okay.
and employee retention.
Since implementing these initiatives,
Those are tangible results that any company would be happy to see.
absolutely. And it highlights the importance of aligning your culture with your business goals.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, their focus on customer care and inclusion
Right.
directly translates to happier customers
Yeah.
and a more engaged workforce.
It's a win-win situation.
For sure. But let's be realistic.
Okay.
Building a strong company culture isn't always smooth sailing.
Right. There are bound to be challenges along the way.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges is resistance to change.
Okay.
People can be very attached to the way things have always been done,
Yeah.
even if those ways aren't working anymore.
It's human nature to resist change,
It is.
even if it's for the better.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important for leaders to communicate clearly
All right.
about the reasons for change,
Mm-hmm.
involve employees in the process,
Right.
and provide support along the way.
So it's about making sure everyone feels heard and understood.
Throughout the process.
Yes.
Sure.
What are some other common challenges
Yeah.
companies face when trying to build a strong culture?
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that.
Another big one is maintaining consistency.
Okay.
It's one thing to launch a new initiative or program with a lot of fanfare,
Yeah.
but it's another to make sure it's integrated into the company's day-to-day operations
Right.
and becomes part of the fabric of the culture.
It's about walking the talk.
Exactly. And it's about holding everyone accountable,
Okay.
from the CEO to the newest hire.
Right?
If some people are allowed to flout the rules
Yeah.
or act in ways that contradict the company's values,
Mm.
it can undermine the entire culture.
So accountability is key.
It is. But what about dealing with negativity or conflict within a team?
Yeah, those are issues that can pop up in any workplace.
Right.
Even those with strong cultures.
You're right. Those are inevitable challenges.
Okay.
But a strong company culture can actually help mitigate those issues.
How so?
When there's a culture of open communication and respect, people are more likely to feel comfortable addressing concerns
Right?
and resolving conflicts constructively.
So it's not about avoiding conflict altogether.
Right.
It's about having the tools and strategies in place to deal with it effectively.
Precisely. And remember, conflict can actually be a good thing.
Oh, really? How so?
It can lead to innovation growth and stronger relationships
Just...
if it's handled appropriately.
It's all about turning those challenges into opportunities
Yeah.
for learning
Yeah.
and improvement.
I like that. But I think a lot of people assume that building a company culture is solely the responsibility of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
What about the role of individually employees?
Right.
What can they do to contribute to a positive and impactful work environment?
That's such an important question.
We know, right?
And it's one we'll delve into in part 3 of this deep dive.
Stay tuned, because we're going to explore how each of us can be an active participant
Yes.
in shaping the cultures we work in.
Regardless of our position or title, welcome back to the deep dive. We've spent the last 2 parts exploring this complex world of company culture.
From the foundation to the challenges.
Right, from those foundational building blocks to the challenges of measuring impact and maintaining that thriving work environment.
We even got to dissect some real-world examples
Oh, yeah?
with those case studies.
I love a good case study.
Always fascinating to see how theory translates into practice.
Absolutely. But before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about leadership's role in shaping culture.
Yeah.
But what about the rest of us?
Right.
Can regular employees really make a difference in a company's culture?
That's a question I get a lot.
I bet.
And the answer is a resounding yes.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Every individual, regardless of their title or position, has the power to influence the culture around them.
So we're not just passive passengers on this culture train.
Not at all.
We can actually help steer the direction.
Exactly. You have more agency than you might think.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me some examples.
Right?
What are some practical things anyone can do to contribute to a more positive
Okay.
and impactful work culture?
One of the simplest yet most powerful things you can do is to model the behavior you want to see more of.
Okay.
If you value collaboration, be proactive in reaching out to colleagues and offering your help. If you believe in open communication, be transparent in your interactions and actively listen to others' perspectives.
It's about walking the talk,
It is.
even in those small, seemingly insignificant moments.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of kindness and respect.
Oh, that's so
A
important.
simple good morning or a genuine thank you can go a long way in creating a more positive and supportive atmosphere.
Yeah, those small gestures can have a ripple effect.
They do?
But what if you're in a situation where the company culture is really toxic
Okay.
or misaligned with your values? What can you do then?
That's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you can't change a deeply ingrained culture from the bottom up.
Yeah.
In those cases, it might be time to consider whether that's the right environment for you.
So it's not about suffering in silence
No.
or trying to be a martyr.
Not at all. You deserve to work in an environment that supports your well-being and aligns with your values.
But before you jump ship,
Yeah.
it's worth exploring what options you might have within the company.
Well, I agree.
So what can someone do if they want to try to improve the culture from within?
Sometimes simply talking to your manager or HR department about your concerns can be a good first step. They may not even be aware of certain issues, or they may be open to suggestions for improvement.
It's about being proactive and advocating for the kind of culture you want to be a part of.
Exactly. And if you're feeling really ambitious, you could even consider starting a small initiative or group within your team or department, focused on something you're passionate about.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It could be anything from professional development to community involvement or promoting sustainability.
It's about finding those small ways to make a difference.
Yeah.
Even if it's just within your immediate sphere of influence.
Exactly. You never know, those small actions could inspire others.
Yeah.
And eventually lead to larger scale changes within the company.
That's a good point.
Ooh.
And remember, building a strong company culture is an ongoing process.
It is.
It's not a destination, it's a journey.
Well said. And it's a journey we're all on together.
Yeah.
Whether we're leading the charge or simply contributing our small part, but we all have a role to play in shaping the cultures we work in.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
a positive and impactful company culture benefits everyone.
It does.
It creates a more engaged and productive workforce, attracts and retains top talent, and ultimately leads to greater success for the company as a whole.
Couldn't agree more.
So it's not just about feel-good vibes.
Right.
It's about creating a work environment where everyone can thrive and contribute their best.
Exactly.
Well, on that note,
Okay.
we've reached the end of our deep dive into company culture.
I was going to say.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and practical tips that you can apply in your own work and job searches.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to continue exploring this topic.
Yes.
Reflect on your own experiences and consider how you can contribute to building a work culture where everyone feels valued, respected, and empowered to do their best work.
And if you have any thoughts or questions you'd like to share, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on social media.
We'd love to hear from you.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep.